Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am JayLee. This is JLeesCorner. This is a quick little gossip chat, honey, about Ryan. Okay, but first things first, let's make sure to subscribe to my channel to become a whole JayBird, JayBird, dun 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 dun, and all that goodness and stuff. Okay, I want y'all to also like the video, comment in the comment section. You can share it on your social media by hitting the little share button. I want everyone to remember to breathe it on out. Okay, to always inhale and to always exhale. To always remember to relax, to relate, to release. Okay, to always center yourself and everyone around you. Okay, you can also follow me on IG and Twitter at J_Lees_Corner. The links to all of my social medias and other stuff is in the description box below. Okay, then let's get into the foolishness of it all. So, Ryan Henry, okay? Ryan, as we know, was a tattoo artist out of Chicago with Nan Mag. He's also the star, or one of the stars on Black Ink Crew. And his best friend, okay, Anthony, had came out saying, Ryan slept with my baby mama behind my back while I was suffering from cancer, even though I'm cancer free now, and even though me and my baby mama are not together, my best friend, the godfather to my son, I am the godfather to his son. Our families are like, family, family, family. Ryan came out and did these things. Now, the whole time that Anthony was saying all of that, Ryan was not saying anything. Ryan was not responding. The most that Ryan was saying was, "But I ain't seen shit. I ain't seen no blogs. I have not been in the news or whatever. I'm in Vegas. Leave me be and whatnot." Okay, but a couple of days after that, Ryan said, "You know what? I'm going to have to address what's being said." Okay, and he did just that today. Now I can say I had just woke up. I was up late recording. I woke up today at around 1, okay, and I happened to grab my phone, still in the bed, okay, and when I got on Instagram, he had literally just went live, okay. I was like, well, I'm just in time and whatnot. So in his live, he touched on a couple different things. The live was about 17 minutes long. I'm going to put in pieces of it as I talk to address what he said and my thoughts on it. But if you want to see the whole 17 minutes in length, it's on his IG page. Boom, pow, pow. Okay, for the most part, Ryan admitted what he did.
So many of y'all have seen in the last week, it came out that I had slept with a friend of mine's ex and also the mother of his child, which happened to also be my godson's mother. That was true. There were situations where that happened almost about 2 years ago, and then more recently, within the last 2 months. And it's been seemingly as much as it was coming out repetitively that I wasn't saying nothing about it and that I didn't care. That wasn't the situation. That's far from what it is. But one big part about that is that, myself and all the parties involved, we had talked. We had talked because this had come about a week and a half before that. So between myself, my friend, the woman involved, my kid's mom involved, and then some of our other friends, we had all talked. It was a bigger situation that was going on. Most of y'all know, especially from Chicago, y'all know Anthony and I as, friends. Some of y'all know us as brothers. Y'all known us as friends for a long time. So the weight of this situation, for what it is, was just heavy. It was heavy, but we dealt with it. I think the main initial purpose was that when y'all got it, I was still in Vegas, and it was coming out day by day by day on blogs about this, and I didn't say anything. I wasn't addressing it. To y'all understanding, we had already addressed it. It seemed like I didn't talk to him or we didn't speak or anything like that. We had been talking every day since, it came out a week and a half before that. So we had been talking about our friendship. We had been talking about, our mistakes. We had been talking about, our brotherhood. How do we continue on as friends, what's going on with our children. So, we had been talking about it for at least a week, every day, even up until that day, so when it came out to y'all, for unbeknownst reasons, that, it wasn't for me to directly go and counter, what made him go and put that to the internet.
So, yes, he slept with Anthony's baby mama. It happened 2 years ago, as he said, also 2 months ago. Now, the weird part for that for me is, first of all, how you out here getting cooch in quarantine? Okay, how you getting cooch in corona? I don't know. But again, I was just like, you did it? Like, you really, like, really? Okay. I mean, people make mistakes. I get that. Now, people are human. We are human. We cannot act like no one makes mistakes. I feel like, at what point are you even attracted to your best friend's baby mama? I mean, I think Will Smith is so attractive. I don't want to sleep with him. That's Jada's husband. And I don't even know them people. It's just weird. It's like, at what point, do you sneak behind someone's back and do that? I get if y'all liked one another and Anthony knew and y'all had a whole conversation and it happened. Okay, fine, whatever. But it's the whole sneaking behind the back thing, and then to say it was, almost 2 years ago and also 2 months ago means it was a continuous situation. And, even though he admitted he was wrong,
overall, no matter what the situation is, I can't go into so many different things about why and how. I'm in a position where anything that I say is not going to matter to y'all, whether it be, my mental instability or where I might have been at that point. Overall, it was me fucking up badly, ultimately real badly. I hurt people that I care about badly. I disrespected them, disrespected myself, disrespected my family, all of our families. I just, even in the times where these things come up, it's like, you ask yourself a million times, like, why did I and why do I hurt people that I care about? And these are things that, people go through. Just in my position, nothing can't be any wrong. So, it's just like, but these are things I've had to deal with myself. I don't want to make any excuses for what I've done.
It still makes me wonder, but why did you continue to do it? You know what I'm saying? Because it seems as if it was a continuating situation. It wasn't a one-time thing, even a two-time thing. It wasn't as if it was a one day we had sex a whole bunch, and then that was it. It was a continuous situation, and I feel like that is why Anthony was probably so upset about it. Because his best friend and his children's mom, or his baby's mama, was literally lying and cheating and scheming behind his back. That's a lot for a person to take in, a whole lot for a person to take in. Now, Ryan also said how, it wasn't as if they were, or that he was avoiding the situation. It wasn't as if he was not talking to Anthony. He said, as we've seen sometime within my video, that he and Anthony talked about it. He, Anthony, Rachel, and also the other girl, whose name I think is Nina, they all talked about it over and over and over again. And he said Anthony then put it out to the blog, so out on social media. He said, I don't know why he did that when we had already talked about it. His thing, I think, is when Anthony put it out, they had already discussed it in length. You know what I'm saying? He had already apologized in length. They had already discussed how to move forward with their friendship or lack thereof. But everything, as far as he knew, had at least been discussed enough to where it did not have to get out to the blogs. I am on Ryan's side with that part of it. I do feel like when it came out, we felt like, oh, he just found out. He hasn't talked to Ryan. Ryan is avoiding the situation. Rachel may not know to shut up, whatever. So it was all of that based on what Anthony initially said. But we have to listen to both sides. And Ryan is saying, we talked about it. He also brought up how because he was in Vegas when it happened, he wasn't really, watching the blogs. I do feel like someone called and told him, bruh, it's in the blog. So I don't think he was oblivious to it. I think he knew about it. He may not have known people's responses to it and how people felt about it, but he knew it had hit the blog. So, when he goes on about, well, I wasn't trying to ignore this or ignore that, it wasn't this, it wasn't that, I was in Vegas doing this and doing that or whatever, and so I let it be. I'm like, Ryan, okay, but whatever. He also brings up the reasons, as to why it went on, and how his mental health is really what it was, how he's been dealing with depression, mental health issues, and how he had basically been self-sabotaging himself for a long amount of time.
It's like two different explanations for it, or two explanations for it. So people who know me most and people who know me the closest, know that over times, and a lot of times even because I had it very well, I've been in some pretty dark places at certain times. I battled with, my internal mental health for a couple years, years and years, a lot of things that I haven't dealt with. And ultimately, the most toxic choices are made, while you're in dark places. Overall, hurt people. I'm dealing with a lot of my unresolved trauma. I'm dealing with my depression and how that goes. So just to be clear, I'm not the victim in this. Everybody else who surrounds me was. This particular moment is definitely not about me. It's about me apologizing publicly, because so many people will feel that I didn't say anything, or so many people that I felt that I didn't care. This is about me apologizing publicly. If y'all feel like I've apologized to Anthony, we talked a lot after this happened. Y'all just got it a little bit later, so we talked a lot. So people to think that I didn't apologize to him for my mishaps and my mistakes, we definitely talked. We talked as friends, we talked as brothers, we talked as family for what I did and for what situation I was in. So I'm apologizing publicly for the same way I've apologized privately, for the embarrassment that I've caused, the pain that I've caused everybody.
And as he said, I've apologized. I'm admitting what I did wrong. I have to take, accountability for what I did. But, it's hard to make good decisions when you're in a very, very low place. And I think we know that. We know that people do have mental health issues. People do be depressed. People do make dumb decisions. Toxic behavior comes from somewhere. And I don't want to say that Ryan hasn't lived a life where he could have demons. I still feel like he never dealt with his sister being killed. I really don't. I think deep down, that is a deep issue that he consistently covers and buries it. And from that, he consistently does dumb shit. And he said within the video how, people would either, rock with him or not, but he owed the people who support him some kind of explanation as to why he did what he did and all of that. And that was the point of the whole video. And I'm okay with what he said. It doesn't mean what he did was right. It doesn't mean, oh, it's not a big deal. I think what he did was very fucked up. He did a very fucked up thing. But people do fucked up things daily. And I always say, as long as you didn't kill anybody, you can make up for a wrong that you did. He and Anthony may never be back as cool as they used to be. He and Rachel may never co-parent the way they used to, when she could trust him or whatnot. But we can't make it seem as if what he did is something that he can't recover from. I like that he said, what he did does not define him. I think sometimes we put so much pressure on people to make it to where they can't make mistakes and they can't fuck up. And Nikki, you can't be, I don't think... I like that he did not say it happened on accident. He made a conscious choice that was fucked up. And
to own my shit, accountability means the most. Ultimately, my goal is to learn, how to get out of my lows and, my levels of depression. And overall, quit self-sabotaging, and never hurt people again that I love the most. That self-sabotage is a motherfucker. And, for how I take on the world and then I embody it and don't put nothing off to nobody else, you probably start imploding from within with self-sabotaging. You know what I mean? So this is just another way that I've done that. So I'm not giving no tea. It's so much more to all of this that y'all don't know, that y'all won't know. You know what I mean? So much more to all this. It's not about tea. It's not about me victim blaming. It's not about me pointing the finger. It's not about me, telling who did what. It's a lot of things that led up to a lot of this stuff. But like I said, people are going to feel the way they feel. I wanted to give the people who have supported me, the people who do support me and that will possibly continue to support me, their own insight on whether they feel they could or they should, or if they wasted their time doing it, and everybody won't. So from that, I would hope that people receive what I've given them as that, and they can make a decision on their own.
And he is admitting to that while also giving reasons as to why he makes dumbass decisions. To me, that's something to appreciate. Okay, now only time will tell if he really, really does it. Because I do feel like if you started doing a fucked up situation 2 years ago and you then did it again, 2 months ago, clearly you not dealing with shit properly, and you do fucked up things with other people that then burns a bridge, and then you apologize for it and say you'll do better, but it's like you did the same thing again. And I feel like 2 years ago was probably when he was with Rachel. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't recall what was going on then, but I think him and Rachel has always been trying to figure things out. So it's like, you was fucked. That's probably the reason Ryan was upset that Anthony told Rachel, because, 2 years ago, whatever, was the time he was trying to work things out with her, and that wasn't working. And let's not forget, at one point in time, he was living in the shop. He was depressed. We know that because we seen it on the show. We did see that on the show. We also saw him, not doing well with not being with Rachel, but you were doing shit to make you not be with Rachel. So I think if you watch the show, you can kind of piece in little pieces here. I do think Ryan suffers from depression. I do think he has issues that he needs to address, and those issues he has helped manifest the bullshit in his life. What I hope he will stop doing is making it seem as if people who feel a certain kind of way about what he is putting out there, shouldn't be worried about it. Well, we shouldn't watch your show then. We shouldn't go to your shop then. Like, people are invested in you as a TV personality. And sometimes when your personal life, falls over to the ground, those same fans or even haters is going to have something to say. So there's a way that you can defend or explain your actions without making it seem as if people who are reporting on it, don't have no life. It was at one point because I think either some blog put up, with Ryan this and Ryan that or whatever. And he like, is this news? Yes, motherfucker, it's news. It's news because when you do things, it's news. I think you have to take the good with the bad. You know what I'm saying? And if he don't know that by now, then you need to get out the reality TV show game, bro. Like, you fucked your best friend's baby mama. That's a huge thing. Could you imagine if Gabrielle Union fucked Chris Bosh? You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine that? It's like Ryan has to get where he is. Like, he may not like it or he may not want to admit it, but we may not like it either. Ryan's famous or infamous. Either way, he's a celebrity that when things happen around him, it's going to be news. The blogs will pick it up. So you can't be like, oh, this is news. Yes, it is. Just like when the season starts and the season ends, it's news. Like when things happen on the show, it's news. You can't pick and choose what you want to be news. I want him to accept that, okay? But kudos to Ryan for admitting it all. Okay, I'm done. Peace.